Let's go ahead and start off by reading out the problem. Adam currently has a total of $1,756 in his savings account. The cost of tuition for his first semester of college is $2,242. How much more money does Adam need in order to cover the full cost of his first semester of college? The very first step for solving a word problem is always to analyze the problem. So we want to extract as much information as we possibly can. We know we're going to want to assign a variable. So we want to determine what it is exactly this variable is going to represent. The variable represents always a question that is to be answered. So in this case, we want to know how much more money does Adam need in order to cover the full cost of his first semester of college. So we can already begin assigning our variable. We'll use the letter x. So x is going to equal, in this case, x will equal the amount of money Adam needs in order to cover the full cost of his first semester of college. There we go. So that's going to be our variable. So again, x is going to represent the amount of money Adam needs in order to cover the full cost of his first semester of college. Again, that came directly from the question. All it really is a question reworded in the phrase of a statement. So now what we want to do is we want to go ahead and try to piece together these things. We know Adam currently has a total of 1,756. So he has a total of 1,756 in his savings account. And we also know the cost of tuition for his first semester of college is $2,242. So the cost is $2,242. So we want to kind of associate these two things along with our variable and form an equation. So let's go ahead and see if we can form an equation from this given information. So let's see. The cost of tuition for his first semester of college is $2,242. That's the cost of tuition for his first semester of college. So that's the goal that he wants to reach. However, we know that he currently has 1,756. We know he needs more money, and that's actually the amount that we're searching for. So the equation is whatever it is that he's missing, we're going to want to add that to what he currently has. So now let's see if this makes sense. The cost of tuition is currently $242. That's what we know. And we know that's going to be the sum of what he has now, which is 1,756, plus whatever he's missing. So yeah, we indeed have a correct equation for the problem. So now let's go ahead and solve our equation. Again, remember, when solving the equation, you always want to start off with the original problem. So 2,242 is equal to 1,756 plus x, the original equation found in step 3. Now the goal here is to get the x variable by itself. Currently it is on the right hand side of the equation, and we are adding 1,756 to it. So if we're adding 1,756 to it, and we want to make sure the x is by itself, we're going to have to eliminate that 1,756. Since we're adding this quantity, the only way to eliminate it is through opposite operation, which is subtraction. So we're going to have to subtract 1,756 from both sides. So again, I'm going to start off with the original equation. I'm going to leave a little bit of space since we're going to have to subtract. And again, 1,756 plus x. But now the only difference is, in order to eliminate this 1,756, we're going to have to subtract it from both sides. And it can't just be one side, because if you do it to one side, then you lose the equality here. So we're going to go ahead and subtract it from both sides. So then now on the right hand side, we have a 1,756 minus a 1,756. So that leaves us with just x on the right hand side. Now let's go ahead and carry out the subtraction. So we have 2,242 minus 1,756. So we always start off with the numbers on the furthest to the right. So we have a 2 minus a 6. That cannot be done, so we have to borrow from the left number. That becomes a 3, and now our 2 becomes a 12. So now we have 12 minus 6, which gives us 6. Now we move on to the second column. So now we have a 3 minus a 5. Again, that cannot be done, so we have to borrow from the number over. The 2 becomes a 1. Our 3 now becomes a 13. 13 minus 5 gives us an 8. Similarly, onto the third column from the right, we have a 1 minus a 7. That cannot be done. 1 is less than 7. So we borrow yet again. The 2 becomes a 1. Our 1 becomes an 11. So we have 11 minus 7, which is 4. And then we have 1 minus 1, which is 0. So our final solution becomes 486. So on the left-hand side of the equation, we have 486 equals x. So now let's go ahead and state our conclusion. So the question is, how much more money does Adam need in order to cover the full cost of his first semester of college? Well, then Adam needs $486 in order to cover the full cost of his first semester of college. So there we go. So Adam needs $486 in order to cover the full cost of his first semester of college. Again, that is the question reworded in the form of a statement. The last thing left to do now is to check the result. And just like in step 4, we always start with the original equation. So 2,242 equals 1,756 plus x. However, the only difference now is that we actually know the numerical value of x. We know x is equal to 486. So we're going to go ahead and rewrite the equation with that substitution in place. So 2,242 equals 1,756 plus 486. So now on the left-hand side of the equation, we have 2,242 already simplified out, so we're just going to go ahead and bring that on down. Now on the right-hand side, we have to sum these two numbers up. So we're going to have to do 1,756 plus 486. Let's see. So again, start off with the furthest numbers to the right. We're going to have a 6 plus a 6. That's going to give us a 12. We bring down the 2 and carry the 1 on over. So now we have 1 plus 5 plus 8. That gives us 14. So we bring down the 4, carry the 1 on over. So now we have 1 plus 7 plus 4. So we have 12. Bring the 2 on down. Bring the 2 on down. And carry the 1 on over. And now we have 1 plus 1 gives us 2. So on the right hand side we end up with 2,242. Is 2,242 equal to 2,242? It is indeed, so our solution is correct.